Am I unmuted?
Computer's recognizing your audio from here. So if you go down to where it's a little red light by audio, click the arrow to the right of that. Oh, here, yeah, leave computer audio. That with the X up there. Thinking you don't have audio because you're actually connected through that same Meridian.
Okay. Gotcha. We'll see who else joins us.
Your mouse there and go to the bottom screen. Where it says participants. I can bring up and then show you who's here. And then attendees is somebody waiting to get in the meeting.
Okay.
Or they can hear you, but they can't speak. And that's probably coming in and audio like father.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, how are you?
And how are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Loud and clear.
That's fine.
Cough in your elbow, Mr. Neri.
What's that?
It's Chris. I just said cough in your elbow, Mr. Neri.
Right up here, rolled up, so we're good.
I think as soon as Jody gets here, we'll have a quorum.
I am here.
Okay. Yep. Nope. As I've heard. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. It is 4:31 on August 27th, 2020. I call this meeting of the Meridian Historic Preservation Commission to order. Roll call. Blaine Johnston's here. J.C. Neri.
Here.
Don. Brian Fitzgerald.
Here.
Josh Everts. Don Cron. Jody Alt.
Present.
And Justin Quill. Not here. Everybody had a chance to look at the agenda, so adoption of the agenda.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt the agenda as published.
I'll second that.
Motion by J.C. Neri, seconded by Jody Alt for adoption of the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. Approval of our minutes from last month. Any corrections or revisions?
There aren't any corrections or additions. I would make a motion that we approve the minutes as provided.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Neri, seconded by Commissioner Alt for approval of July minutes. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. New business, approval of our monthly financial statements.
Mr. Chair, I think the only thing I'm not seeing on this would be the kiosk for the brochures. Was that maybe not completed? I think this is and I think we've got, is Audrey here?
She's supposed to be, but she's not here yet.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Chair, I believe she may be here. I just had an email asking to be admitted, and I have a hand raised. It says Craig Smith. Audrey, is this you?
Yes, that's my husband's name.
Oh, okay. I'm going to admit you now. Sorry about that. And I do have your notes from up to this moment.
Okay. Yes, sorry. I'll figure out how to change my husband's name in a moment. But yes, so about the financial statements, those financial processes have gone through. However, those were processed at the end of July, and I always get these reports August 1st. And so they just aren't showing up on our August 1st report. However, they have gone through the system. They'll show up on our September statement, definitely before the end of the fiscal year. I emailed and checked on that because I noticed the same thing as JC.
Okay.
Thanks, Audrey.
Before we leave that, Audrey, do you know what the status is on the brochures and the panels?
You're muted, Audrey.
The brochures, Mr. President, the brochures are completed and in their containers downtown. The invoice is being processed, and the panels are an agenda item further down the agenda to evaluate and discuss the artwork for the panels. We're going to redo the artwork.
Okay, thank you.
If there's no other discussion about the financial statement, then I would make a motion to approve the financial statement as presented, noting Audrey's corrections that will come in September.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Neri, seconded by Commissioner Alt for approval of the monthly financial statements with Audrey's notes about payments showing up in September's report. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing that motion carries. Thank you. We will go on to old business. Can everybody hear me okay?
It's in and out, Blaine.
Okay, I'll try to do better. Old business, Facebook group training by Shandy. So Shandy's available.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I am here. I don't know if you can see me. I can only see a few of you, but good afternoon, commissioners. I've met a few of you and happy to see you again. For those I haven't met, my name is Shandy Lamb. I'm the communications manager for the city. So I work in the mayor's office, but do communications and oversee internal and external communications throughout the city. One of those small portions of my job is social media. So I'm happy to be here today to talk to you guys about social media. So I went back and forth on the best way to do this with you guys today, but I think without knowing exactly what levels we're all at and what your questions are, I think the best route is to just start very beginning and leave it more of an open discussion to let you guys ask me what you're curious about and what you want to know. And I'll share my screen so I can actually walk you through things. And then as we are discussing those, some of the bigger topics, I will be able to go back and do like screenshots and actual how-tos and can follow that up and send you that information afterward if there's anything that you might need to look back into.
That'll work. Audrey, can you let Shandy share the screen?
You'll first make her a panelist. Once you make her a panelist, you'll have options.
All right, it went out and then added me back in.
So Shandy, you're now promoted to a panelist and a co-host. That should give you the ability to share your screen.
Wonderful. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. It's
Yes.
telling me it's muted for some reason. Okay, so let's see here, share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. Okay, so this is the historic preservation group page that we landed on through our discussions. And I've gotten requests from some of you, but a lot of you have not joined it yet. So if you guys need that link again, please let us know. I know Audrey sent it out at one point. But I just wanted to kind of walk you through what this would look like. I can refer to one of our other city groups as well if you guys have questions. We have one that's been up for over a year and would be a great one to reference with any questions that you have. But if you find that link that that Audrey sent you, I'm going to switch this over. Hopefully. Okay. All right. Can you guys see that now?
Yep.
All right. So this is what it looks like. This cover photo can change as regularly as you'd like. This is what people will land on. I just put this one up there today so you'd have a better understanding of what it will look like when it's finished. But if you guys have ideas, you can definitely send those to Audrey on what you would want that cover photo to look like. Again, it can change as you're doing campaigns. It can change month to month, weekly, however you guys want, just depending on the level of effort that you guys want to put into it, or what relevant information you guys have to share. So I'm in this right now as myself so that I'm not an admin, because that'll be how you guys are looking at it. So I wanted to make sure that you can see it in the same view. So the first thing I would do for each of you once you join would be to click these 3 little dots. Hopefully yours looks the same as mine. Facebook just rolled out a new look, a new interface, and they've been transitioning. So I'm hoping everybody's looks the same. When you click these 3 little dots, this is where you're going to manage your notifications. And so for all of you, I would recommend, if you're wanting to be really involved in this page, I would click manage notifications, and then I would change it to all posts. So you're getting notified anytime that somebody posts in the group. And other options, depending on what you would like to see, would be highlights, just friends, and then things that Facebook thinks you might be interested in, only friends, or you can completely turn them off. But it sounds like a lot of you are wanting to be very involved. You want to see what others are posting, and not just having Audrey manage that. So I would change that to all posts and then click save. And you guys can feel free to stop me at any time if you have any questions at all.
Doing good so far.
Okay, so that will be, I think, probably the most important thing for you guys to be able to stay up to date with it. Audrey and I will continue to get notifications. She's going to take the lead on it, but I will also monitor as I do with our other groups. And we will also see notifications. So as a commissioner, really, you can post whenever you'd like. My recommendation of you posting versus us posting as the city. So you can see this one shows up. It was the city that did this. I would say if you are working at the museum and you find a picture and you take a quick little snapshot and you want to share it, you can totally do that from your own account as a commissioner. Same as a private citizen, they'd be able to do the same thing. They are cleaning out grandma's attic and they find pictures of Meridian 50 years ago that they want to share that they found in a trunk. They can snap photos of that and add those in here as well. And you can do that by just clicking right here, creating a post. You can write, look what I found in grandma's attic. Add photos, videos, whatever it is that you're wanting to add, and then click post. You guys have a few options. I mean, if you want to, these are your own personal accounts that you're using for this. So if you wanted to, you could add something like commissioner post so that somebody knows that it's coming from a commissioner. You can do the same thing when you're replying to people. You can start with commissioner reply, or you could sign it with commissioner at the bottom, just so that people do know that you are commissioners, but you don't have to do that. I know some people might not want to, because people then could click on your name and friend you. And if that's not something you're comfortable with, that's completely fine. So then anybody can post in here. When they do request to join, they'll be asked a series of questions. I sent those over to you, Mr. Johnston, and I sent those to Audrey. And those questions won't keep anybody out. We're in an interesting position because we're government, so we have First Amendment rights that we follow that a private organization would not need to follow. So when it comes to removing posts, removing or hiding comments, we have a lot different rules than a private organization. So same with joining the group. Anybody can join, but we think that those questions that they answer in advance, as far as why are you interested in historic preservation? Do you live in or have ties to Meridian? Those types of questions. Do you agree to follow these rules? That will help them to stay on topic and deter them from posting inappropriate things that will either be hurtful to someone, mean, cruel, whatever it might be. So they will still be added to the group, but we will monitor closely as well with our rules. Okay, so let's see. Up here is kind of the menu of the group, all the things that you can add or do in the group. So the About page, you guys can take a look at that, but this is something I worked on and had Audrey look at. If you guys need any changes, just let her know. But I would encourage you to go through here and just kind of go through each of these tabs and look. Discussion is your main page, your main group where everybody's posting their pictures, videos, whatever. And these will show up in an order based on this button right here. So you can either have it be chronological by saying new activity, or you can have the most recent posts. Otherwise, so by activity, that means if somebody is commenting on it, even though it's an older post, it has new activity if somebody just comments on it. So it might be an older post that was posted a week ago, but 3 people just commented on it. So if you have it by new activity, it will bring that back up to the top for you. If you have it by recent posts, it'll be just chronological and not based on activity and engagement on the post. All right, so I did make this group. It is a private, well, it's a public group, but they have to request to join, but it's public so anybody can see it. So if they are interested in viewing the content, they can absolutely do that without joining the group. If they want to post in here and share, then they need to join the group. And I believe that's how you guys wanted that. If not, I can definitely change it. Okay, so if we just continue to go through here, I have my rooms. And this one, I mean, I can't imagine that you guys will necessarily need to use rooms on here unless we get creative with big projects that you're working on or something along those lines. But basically that separates out different ideas that you might be talking about that you want to, it's kind of like a folder. If you wanted to keep everything in one place related to a specific topic, you could create a room for that only certain members are in. You can always check out who the members are. That's one thing anytime somebody's joining a city page. Again, we have different rules. So anything that anybody posts on here, our member lists, everything like that is all subject to public record. Events. So if you guys host any events, you can have those events straight in here, whether that's a historic walking tour, whatever that might be. And then we can also cross-share these posts on and these events through the city's page as well. And I'm looking at this from my own personal profile where I have not made myself an admin, and I can create an event. So other people in the community can also add events in here as well related to historic preservation. And then media, this would be where your photos, videos, albums, everything like that are located. So any photos that are posted by anyone at any time will show up in photos. Same with videos. And then albums will actually be separated into, say you have the 2020 historic walking tour album. You can separate those out how you'd like to keep them. If you wanted to, you could do an album just for one of the properties and be collecting photos to put into just that album. And I know that we have a fairly robust file of photos already. So that could be one of the first things that Audrey does as well, or that you guys can take on, is uploading those to a page where everybody can see them, versus right now I think they're on like our shared drive here. And that would be a great way to just start with content that would attract people to be able to go through and view those different photos. All right, so discussion's your main page, so we'll go back there. So as far as you guys posting, you can post whenever you'd like. With a group, there's not really I wouldn't ever say, you know, I only recommend 3 posts in a day. With a group, it's all about dialogue and interacting with each other. So you can post as many times as you want in a group, and it will actually build your audience and build engagement. I would definitely encourage others to be posting in here as well. I think, especially with historic preservation, that's really where you're going to get a lot of that cool information, or from the stories and the photos that people have that you just don't know that they have yet. And then as far as what Audrey posts, what we post from the actual city, I would say would be anything that you really want to make sure is getting people's attention. Any campaigns that you're doing, so like your This Place Matters campaign, I would recommend something like that be coming from the city. Any events that you're promoting, those types of things that are city events, you as a commission member might know of a cool event happening that's Treasure Valley wide. You could totally post that in here and share that information with like-minded people as a commissioner. If it's an actual city hosted event, I would recommend that that post is coming from us, and that you send that content to Audrey. I hope I'm not going too fast or covering too much. Does anybody have any questions so far?
I only have one question so far. As far as invites, can we invite, I know the State Historic Preservation Office has got a Facebook page. Can we invite them to like it?
Yes. So when you invite, I think you can only do friends from this group. Let's see. I try. Is that a group or a page? Do you know?
It's
So I don't know if it would make a difference if I like it or not, but we can easily do that via email as well. So there's a few ways to do it. If you click up here on invite, this is where you can invite all of your friends. If you, let's see, they've changed this.
It's a page. It's Idaho State Historic Preservation Office.
So the page can like it, and they can like it as a page too. So that's a newer feature on Facebook. They can interact as their page. And I do have that setting set. So it doesn't have to be a personal profile. It can be an organization's page. And we can do that easily by sharing that same link that we sent out to you guys. We can send that link to any of the organizations throughout the Treasure Valley that you guys would like to have on here.
How do we work to get like the 300 plus people on the existing page over?
Sure. So we will do campaigns on not just those pages, but on our city page as well, launching this. So we'll do a big launch pushing people here. I would recommend you have a little bit of content first. I think starting with those images, those photos that we know we already have would be great, but we can do a launch campaign to get people and direct them over to this page using the link.
And is there any way to update it so it says Idaho somewhere on it? I know we've got the group by City of Meridian, Idaho, but there's nothing like in the about. We ran into problems when we launched the first one, like people from Meridian, Mississippi all the time.
Absolutely. Yes. And so when they join, they will also see that in the joining questions as well. We do have Idaho up here in the cover photo as well, but I can definitely add that. I get calls from Meridian, Mississippi on a regular basis as well. So I do like to emphasize things that this is Idaho. And we'll keep an eye out for that too. If you see a post in here too that you're like, I don't think that is actually this area, we can keep an eye out, but I can absolutely add it to this about section.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Can we still go back and all the videos we did for Preservation Month, we have those uploaded to this also?
We can absolutely, any content that you already have created, we can absolutely add in here.
Okay.
And I don't know, Audrey, if This Place Matters, was that a national theme of Preservation Month?
Yeah, Mr. President, Shandy. So This Place Matters was our Preservation Month efforts. The one that we just did in May, that was for Preservation Month. And This Place Matters was a hashtag that we used.
And was that a national theme or was that one we just chose?
I am unsure.
I think it was just a theme that we chose because I don't think it was the national theme or even the state theme for this year. But I think it was a theme that we selected because I think national, because of COVID, I don't think anything really done this year.
Okay. And the only reason I ask is if it's not something that was already over like a national theme, you could definitely actually redo that whole campaign in here again to where you have a couple of options. You can either post all that content in advance so it's already in here, or it can be one of the first things that you do in this group is reposting all of those as a campaign again. So you can do it a couple of different ways and recycle it, or already have it in here. But yeah, any content that you already have created, we can absolutely add in here.
So
I think that both This Place Matters and hashtag Saving Places all come out of the National Trust for Historic Places. It's a theme that they use on a lot of things they post.
yeah, they always they use hashtag This Place Matters and then the @Saving Places, and it's ongoing. So a lot of other cities, especially when we're talking about redeveloping main streets, that is kind of the campaign nationally for Main Street.
And not just for a month, it continues on.
Yeah, May's
Yeah.
Preservation Month, and a lot of times, like Blaine said, they our state will announce a theme for the month that we have followed, but that didn't happen this month, so we always default back to the national.
Okay. And so that would be a cool thing too, Audrey, maybe if that's something that we are hoping that really catches on around here, to have that on the cover photo as well, and implement it that way. But yeah, you could definitely recycle those I would say wait until you build if you want to recycle them, either have the content preloaded in here or wait until you've built your audience quite a bit and then recycle those and push them out again. Any other questions?
I can't think of anything right now. I think that answers, at least we can get started with it. When are you expecting this to go live so people can see?
That's really up to you guys and up to Audrey. So I haven't invited anybody to it yet. I mean, somebody could find it if they search for it, but I haven't invited anybody to it yet or pushed it out there. I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to, again, I just threw this in here today. So if you want to change the cover photo, if you want to add some albums in here, I would say work on those things first. And then when you have it where you'd like it, you can post it and we can start that launch campaign. So really up to you guys. I would recommend that you build a little bit of content at least in here first. And then I don't know if you have any other campaigns that are coming up or if it's more just usually a once a year May campaign that we need to work around, but.
The only other thing I noticed right offhand is underneath historic preservation, where you have the quote from Winston Churchill, we've got a saying on the back of our challenge coin, and I don't remember what it is right offhand, but if we put that instead of that quote, I think that would be a good thing to put on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Send that our way, or I don't know if Audrey has one, but we can change these however you'd like.
Okay.
And there doesn't have to be a quote either. It can just be a picture. I would recommend at least having the logo and historic preservation so that it's identifiable as to what the group is. But it can have multiple pictures, however you'd like to do it. So just let us know if you guys have ideas as you go along during Historic Preservation Month. Obviously, I would recommend that this cover photo be branded with all of the other stuff that you're pushing out there so that you have one cohesive brand going along with everything. And you'll notice Audrey's posts will be our city colors, the blue and the gold, and it'll all be branded and tied together. So infographics and things like that we can create as well. So any requests that you have, just send them our way. It doesn't take us very long to put something together if you do need it quickly. Otherwise, we have that content calendar. If you just have ideas that at some point you'd like something to go out there, we have the content calendar that I'm not sure exactly if it's just going to be one of you that's adding to that or all of you, or how that'll work. That's up to you guys. But if it's just ideas that don't have a deadline, at some point you'd like to go out there, you can add those into the content calendar. If it's something that it's it would be great if this could go out tomorrow, just shoot that our way separately. We can build whatever graphics you guys need to go along with that stuff. And if you're not already in it, you can add yourself and delete yourself if you're not interested in the topic. But we do have the Meridian Trash Talk page group, and it's been extremely successful for us. It's great to watch everyone's dialogue in there, and how we really did that. I know I explained it to a couple of you, but recycling and trash topics are very complicated and confusing and always changing. And so we started this group. We actually started it just for participants in one of our programs, and then it ended up being really successful, and we just let it be open to anybody. So we have people, most of the people are in Meridian, but our trash and recycling rules go beyond Meridian. They're the same as Boise, so we have people throughout the Treasure Valley. But we mostly started it where we could answer questions. So people would post a picture of some type of trash and ask where it went, and we would respond. And then we kind of viewed it as a way that we could really help educate the public, to empower them to educate each other. So if they're at their friend's house and somebody asks or puts something in the wrong bin, they would have the education to know how to help us, rather than us having to manage that group or those questions constantly. And so then at some point we kind of backed off. So normally our goal is to respond within 24 hours or one business day. But we ended up backing off of that, and rather than responding right away, we would wait and see what others in the community would have to say, and then we would just watch that. If they were incorrect in that, we would thank them for responding, and then politely correct it so that everybody had the right information. If they were right, we would either move along if they had all already agreed on everything, or if somebody wasn't really sure, we would add like a thumbs up or just a great job, keep up the good work, something along those lines, or you're right. So it'll be really interesting to watch and see how that unfolds as well. That it doesn't always have to be us. That's the great thing about a group. On a page, we're the only ones that can respond to something like that. And in a group, it's really about open dialogue and helping each other and educating each other and sharing all of that information. So if you're just interested in seeing how one of our city groups operates, it's called Meridian Trash Talk, and you guys are welcome to join that one and just take a look around and see. We have an industry expert in there, which I'm assuming you're probably going to have similar folks in this group, whether they're architects or work for Idaho Historic Preservation or at a neighboring city. But we have a couple of Republic Services employees that are in there that are awesome about sharing information and reminding people on holidays that things are delayed. And I could see the same thing happening in here as other industry experts in the area join and are sharing information and are able to answer questions and collaborate with everyone. Do you guys have a specific timeline? I mean, I don't have anything. I would say the sooner the better, just because it is out there and people can join it if they'd like to. But I don't have anything pressing on my end as far as getting it out there. So I think it would just be up to you guys to work with Audrey on a good realistic timeline on doing that launch. And then when you guys set that timeline, her and I can start developing the graphics and everything for that launch campaign for our other pages.
Okay. Right now, I would say if we could have 2 or 3 weeks to add content, and then let's see if we can't do a live launch in a month for our next historic preservation meeting. And then we can also, I guess, lack of a better term, notice our meeting on that page also, saying this Facebook page is live. Our meeting is at 4:30 this afternoon. You can join it, watch it streaming or whatever. So
Yep, you could have.
I think that's.
Sorry to interrupt. You could have a standard graphic that could go out weekly for that to notice your guys' meetings. I think that would be a great idea.
Okay. I don't think I have anything else right now. Does anybody else have any questions for Shandy?
Mr. President, I don't right now. I think as a team, we probably should get maybe a subcommittee together to talk about it and start getting content in there and trying to decide what content would make sense for the city as the administrator to be posting versus us, and then how we handle events that need to be interacted with directly, like when the city's closed. Like if something's happening on the weekends, normally post wouldn't happen on the weekends and interaction doesn't happen on the weekends. So when that needs to happen, how we would navigate that too. So maybe a subcommittee so we can have another discussion prior to launch would be good, is my suggestion.
How soon do you want to try and get together?
That's an exceptional question. And I would also want to defer to Commissioner Everts as well. He's got a lot of the background in it. Plus, it is often his team who helps us with some of the photos and getting the logos, how we want them to be and all of that kind of stuff. And I know that his plate is full right now. So I think maybe we could loop around with him and just try to have a conversation based on what his availability is and then go from there, if that sounds okay.
That would work. I can reach out to him and see what he says.
And if he doesn't have the bandwidth to do that at this time, that's okay. We can come up with a plan B, but I do want to be respectful since he's not in this conversation.
Okay.
Thanks, Blaine.
Yep. Quick note, and then any other discussion on Facebook page?
Mr. President, do you guys have any requests from me? Do you need me to send out any information to you as follow-up as far as click these 3 dots or anything along those lines? Does anybody feel like they need that extra follow-up? I'm happy to do that if you want, but if everybody seems to have it, then I won't worry about it unless you have any other questions. Just let me know what you need from me.
I'm good right now. I think everybody else is, I'm just speaking for everybody else. If anybody has any questions, just get a hold of Shandy, email, and then we'll just go from there.
Well, and a one-page FAQ might be helpful. We have 3 commissioners who aren't here, so that might be just circulating information. And then for continuity too, if somebody steps down or we have a term ends, we would have that FAQ we could kind of send out in a welcome packet too.
That's a good idea.
Great.
So we're kind of into item 3 for an action plan. I'll reach out to Commissioner Everett to see how he's feeling, see what his time frame is about content, and then let's get a subcommittee formed. I think if I'm right, Mr. Neri, we need to, if the subcommittee meets, we still have to notice that correctly.
Yes. Oops. Yes.
Okay. So I'll reach out to Josh, see what he's up to at that point. Then, Commissioner Neri, I know you're interested. Anybody else want to be on that subcommittee also? Ryan, you want to help out with that? Are you busy? Okay. We'll get a group together. We'll find out who wants to help out. We'll get it together, and then we'll go from there.
Mr. President, just for clarification in my notes, I have yourself, JC, Josh, and was that a yes from Brian in the subcommittee?
Yes.
Brian? Great. Mr. President, if you'll CC me in that communication so that I can help facilitate scheduling dates and times, and then we can put together an agenda for our first meeting.
Okay, that'll work.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any other discussion needed for our Facebook page? Okay, Shandy, thank you for your time. Appreciate all your help.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, commissioners.
Have a good day.
You as well.
Mr. President,
Mr. Neri.
I have a conflict, so I have to take off. I just sent, Audrey, do you have access to your email from where you are? Okay, I just sent you my cell number, so if something were to come up, you can call me, but I've got to take off, so I just wanted to let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Item 4, discuss our walking tour panel design.
Yes, Mr. President, I mentioned this earlier. I had anticipated that the walking tour panels would just be a reorder. However, Trademark Design owns the artwork for the panels, and since we are switching companies to do the reprint and installation, they're not willing to share that artwork with us. So we're doing a redesign of the panel. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Okay. Okay. I met with Josh and his graphic designer, Bryce. And Bryce briefly put together this sketch of what the new panel will look like. Can everyone see the panel? I tried to make it all show up at once on the screen, but I wasn't able to figure it out. So I'll just scroll so you can see the top to the bottom. This is the drafted proposal. Bryce is looking for any feedback on things that we want to change, some things to notice that are different from the original artwork. Our logo is the new updated logo that has our name. The map and these words are the same. We also kept this section the same. In reading through it, it acknowledges I felt that it was the acknowledgement of the inception of the walking tour. And so that would be still the same information. We just added former Mayor Tammy to avoid any confusion with our current mayor. However, all of this is still the same. Then at the bottom, all the words are the same and this graphic is new. The goal for this newest design was to make it more clean. The original artwork had that kind of parchmenty looking background, and that is what faded so quickly. And so in reprinting, we wanted more of a cleaner design so that any fading would be less obvious, less noticeable, and just a little bit more clean and modern. So we're looking for feedback in any additions that the commission would like.
From what I can see, I think it looks good. I don't have any problems with it.
Okay.
Mr. President, Commissioners, Audrey, I'm of the same mind. I think if you scroll to the bottom, that yellow fade with the kiddos, isn't that somewhere else in the city? Like, don't we use something similar to that, like in a parks? Has Josh done this for us somewhere else?
Mr. President and Commissioners, I'm not familiar with it. However, I've been new to Meridian for the last 8 months, so I haven't seen everything. But I don't recognize it. I can check with the Parks Department.
No, I feel like it's very familiar. Like we have something like that somewhere else. And I'm gonna find it because my brain is like, oh yeah, I've seen that before. So I'm totally okay with it. It feels like something that already exists out in the world for Meridian. So good with me.
Is there another? I'm thinking off the top of your head. Is there another theme or image that would fit the feeling that we're going for?
I'm okay with this. I mean, it looks like happy people having fun.
I like it. It's a family going out for the tour. I think it looks good unless it's used somewhere else that I'm not aware of. I like it.
Okay, great. So if the commission has no other feedback, then I will send this off to Signs, etc., and request that they send me an invoice by the end of the fiscal year so that we can still count this in this year's budget and it doesn't bleed over into next year's budget, which is at the end of September. But other than that, then we should be good to go. This was a setback that, well, it pushed back the timeline a little bit, but we should still be okay.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is talk to the sign company and get an update as to when they think they can get it done and get it installed.
Yes. Yes, I've been working with Signs, etc., and he was very optimistic and really excellent to work with in helping us manage this project. He said as soon as we have the artwork, it'll be really quick turnaround.
Cool. Okay, good. Any further discussion on our walking tour panel? Okay. Update on Hull Film Speedway project.
Mr. President, I reached out to Brandon for an update. He has done the still photography and 3D imaging of a busy night at the Speedway and is planning on going back this next week to get pretty much the same shots of an empty Speedway to have that juxtaposition of what it looks like during an event and not during an event. He is also planning on coming this week to do Meridian City Hall. he said that he should have the project finished in about 3 weeks, which will be just in time for our next commission meeting, as well as scraping it in by the end of the fiscal year, which is exactly what we wanted. So he's right on track and doing well for this, the Speedway and Meridian City Hall project.
Okay. Any update on National Registry for the Speedway?
Mr. President, I also have an update about the master agreement with Brandon Hull. He is currently working on compiling his qualifications and his scope of work. And so it's just the logistics of the information that we need to put together the master agreement, which should be done this month. And he said
Okay.
he's willing and very excited to do the master's agreement.
Perfect.
An update for the next that you mentioned was an update about the Historic Registry Speedway project. I've been working with TAG Historical Research. Barbara is her name, the sister that I've been working with. And she's done basic research and has been trying to go into the Speedway to take photos. However, we both have had a real struggle of reaching the Speedway. We've both called and left messages at the Speedway, probably between the two of us, 5 messages. And I got 1 call back and she hasn't got a call back. So it's been difficult to reach the Speedway manager to get access to the Speedway. However, we'll keep trying and keep going, but she has done the basic research and is progressing nicely.
Can you send me their contact information? I know Josh knows them, or just send their contact information to Josh, copy me, and see if Josh can reach the manager of the Speedway to know that this is what we're working on, so that maybe we get some feedback that way.
Yes. Yes, we've been using the phone number and the email just on the general website. So I'll send you the information that we've been using. And
Okay.
Mhm.
Josh may have another email or another ad or phone number to contact, so we'll try that.
Okay, thank you. That sounds great.
Okay. Any further discussion on the Speedway? Item 7, adding green history to West State Museum. Commissioner Fitzgerald, I'll let you take that.
So I got a reply from the director of the museum, and she said they're still working on constructing the software needed for our donations. She said she has some criteria. The images must be high resolution and cleared of copyright. And then she'll get me a spreadsheet once they get their whole system ready of the things we need to add in, the descriptions, the titles and stuff. But that shouldn't be done until at least January. So we have a while before we'll be able to do that.
I don't think anything we're going to send to them is copyrighted, except we just want to make sure that they notice that it belongs to the city of Meridian. So, but I can't think of any copyright issues on setup.
Yeah, I think that should, City Meridian is listed as author. Or
Okay.
Yeah, I think they would be cleared of copyright.
Well, then we'll just proceed and just put this on as continuing, and
Mr. President and Brian, did she say that she'll reach back out to us when she has the software and all the information, or do we need to make a note? Do I need to make a note so that we reach back out to her in January?
It would probably be good to reach back out. She said that it's their rough timeline that January it should be ready, so no guarantees.
So I would say, reach out first of December and see how things are going. Okay. Any other questions for the Boise State World Museum? We'll go on to item 8, brief review of NHTC forum from the commissioners who participated. Did anybody get a chance to watch any of the webinars? I was able to watch 3 of them. I know they're still available for, I think, another week and a half. So I wish it would have been, we could have gone in person because it was classes. The ones I did, watched a lot more regarding conservation overlay districts. And I've got some notes that I will email to Audrey so she can have those. I know we've talked about doing conservation overlay district for Old Town, possibly Pine Street, but there's others that we could look at. But it was a good class. I know that I have to go back and look at my notes. Someone wanted to know if we could meet offline just to discuss it. Go into my email. And I can't find it. Jody, was it you that emailed me about meeting regarding that?
No, it was Donna.
Okay. I contacted Mr. Neri. As long as we're not making a decision, we can meet offline and discuss the conference, what we learned, and take back, and then do another report next month, the month after, see what we learned, something that we want to bring forward as a commission and possibly take to the city. So I will reach out and see if anybody wants to get together, either Zoom or if we can socially distance, a place to have a cup of coffee or something to discuss it. So if that sounds good to everybody, okay. Any other discussion, questions? Our meeting in September will not be in D, if I'm not. So.
Mr.
No,
President,
yes,
you cut out and I didn't hear anything of that.
I said our next meeting in September will not be in council chambers because of some work being done in here. So it's going to be in meeting rooms A and B, City Hall. We can do a Zoom meeting, but I think some things are limited. I'll probably be here to go over that. So I don't know how that one's gonna work for sure. City clerk's office said that there's some technical issues with trying to something. So we'll figure that one out. All needs to be So, any other questions? Hearing none, we will see everybody next month. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Neri, second by Commissioner Fitzgerald for adjournment. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Any further discussions? We're done. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Blaine.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
See ya. Thank